Guys, hold on a second. I'm having a little difficulties because I'm traveling, right? I'm in Texas. So here we go.
In there now.
We made
We're in there now. Jeez.
it. Baby, we made it. I cannot tell you. You know where I am, right?
Where are you?
I'm in Texas with Brandon.
What are you doing?
Look, being a whole grown husband in his own home,
Wow.
I got to sneak up on him this weekend
I know that's right.
and planned a little shenanigans with his wife. So I was like, let's sneak up on him.
I
So
know that's
we did. Girl, look, before I introduce you to all the people, I've had people on here chatting already. I love her. I love her. That's my baby. No, that's not your baby. That's my baby. That's my big grown girl who has done all the big grown girl stuff. I'm excited. So I told the folks today, I said, what better occasion to celebrate her in Women's Month? And because it's Sunday, we're going to make us a little strawberry banana caramel sundae.
Oh, that sounds good.
Look, now I'm traveling, so I don't have my pod. I don't got nothing. So Brandon gave me his iPad. His iPad didn't want to work. So I am over here doing all the best Drew I can do. So look, I'm just gonna start off with a little strawberries, right?
Okay.
A little strawberry. You tell me what you like in yours. I like layering a sundae. I'm not that traditional girl, as you very well know. I'm
Absolutely.
gonna flip it and do it how I like doing it. But my favorite ice cream is bluebell. You know you can't mess up with the bluebell, right? And I'm in Texas, so I guess I better stay with the people that I know. I'm just gonna pop the top on that. I'm gonna add me a little because I've been eating since I got here. And I cannot have all of this sugar because once you get a certain good girl age,
Yep.
they say no to the dress. And I'm not gonna even talk about that word menopause or premenopause, none of that. Because it has jacked up my whole system. So I'm holding my one. I'm gonna have to put my phone right there for a second so I can get all up into this ice cream and put it in our container. Now, do you
Mm.
like bananas?
Mm-mm.
You don't like bananas?
No.
Okay, so we're not gonna put none in yours. We're not gonna put no bananas in yours. We're just gonna put strawberries in yours. But I'm gonna cut up a little nana in mine because that's how we do it. Put a little banana in there. And then I made up a little strawberry preserve, right? It's got a little
Wow.
blackberry in it. And I'm gonna layer that in as well. Ooh, this see.
It look good though.
I ain't even had dinner yet, so I don't even know why I'm acting like I'm getting ready to eat this. I'm gonna put it in the freezer and wait till it's dinner time, and then I'm gonna really tear into it. And then I'm gonna add me some whipped cream on top, some homemade whipped cream at that for these youngsters who don't know how to make no whipped cream. Y'all keep following me. I'm gonna show y'all how my mama did everything homemade, right? Okay, we got that there. And then the last thing I'm gonna add is just a little drizzle of some caramel on top. And what do you like putting on top of yours?
Caramel is actually one of my
Yes.
favorites. Mm-hmm.
Cheers, honey, to a great Sunday. Yes, yes, yes. So that's it for the folk who love to eat on Serve Family Style. But I just want to welcome you to What's Cooking at My Church. Oh, yes, Hunty. So I have this episode that I started, and it's called What's Cooking at My Church. And I am a little hoarse because I've been flying from state to state, and all of their allergies are catching me. But I feel like I'm getting a little better. But served family style is just so near and dear to me. And so to be able to ask the question, what's cooking at your church? I'm not always talking about that building, but I'm talking about the person, the church. And
Mm-hmm.
I know that you have a whole lot cooking. So can you just tell the people who you are? And then I'm gonna tell you who I'll tell them who you are to me.
So I'm Shakina Rollins, Dr. Shakina Rollins. I am a wife, a mother, entrepreneur, pastor. I'm the
Say that
founder.
word again. You're what?
I know that's crazy, right? Pastor actually is going on 10 years, which is actually crazy to me.
Exactly.
I am fun,
Yeah.
loving, crazy.
Yeah.
I enjoy life. I'm a whole lot of things.
Yes. Isn't
I'm
that
a
amazing that we can be a whole lot of things?
yeah, I'm a whole lot of things.
And I love it. I love that you are a whole lot of things. But to me, let me tell you what she is to me. Now, Shakina is about 10 years behind me.
Hmm.
And so there was this when I first moved to Virginia, joined a church that I got introduced to by her cousin on a bus. Okay? On a bus, your cousin. We got to chatting, and I said to him, I'm looking for a church home. And Dennis goes, "Well, I got a church. I go to Macedonia." And so the next thing I knew, me and my husband show up at Macedonia Baptist Church. I loved it, and we ended up staying there. And I was at Macedonia for 21 years. And
Mhm.
this is where I met this amazing young woman. She was a kid at that time.
I was.
She was a kid at that time.
I
And
was.
she came with this group. And I say this group because every last one of them have gone on to become amazing women, not of just the world, but of God. They are so talented. They started themselves off at Duke Ellington. Yes, they very prestigious children. But they went on.
I didn't go to Duke. Yana went to Duke.
You went to Duke. I don't know why I
I
want to
didn't go to Duke.
people. Well, then you was just duking it out with us then.
Yeah, I didn't go to Duke. Yana went to Duke.
You had that Genesee squad. You had that something that made you look like you went to Duke. Because so many of the kids in that circle had the privilege of going there. And so I got to know her through us just being in ministry together and just growing up and just really just being a part of each other's lives. I think my son was in your wedding. Was my son? We were in a wedding. I don't know how my son got attached to Shakina. I'm
It
talking
was
about,
in my choir.
yeah, Brandon. He and Driana. And I have just had the privilege of watching her grow, watching her become Dr. Shakina Rawlings, watching her create Jira's Place, watching her become a pastor, a woman, a mother, and the husband of Black Tie, Mr. Black Tie Wall. And so I am so excited, Shakina, to have you here today. I wanted to be able to talk to you about, your success and how you've actually moved in these circles as a woman, because as an entrepreneur of my own and starting in different areas and for God to direct me in the way that he has so that I am now a hoteler back in Missouri doing this whole thing with my family. Nothing is more shocking than when the Lord gives you some instructions,
Yeah.
you touch and agree, and you move on those things. And to see Him move in your life, beyond what we can imagine. Just tell me a little bit about. I want to actually just start with your amazing family and your husband. Just tell me a little bit about them, and then we're gonna get into all the things that Miss Shakina Dunbar is, Rawlings is.
Well, my husband, he's so wonderful. We've been married. We're actually coming on 12 years
Ah, so
in May. We met actually because I was planting my girls program, and he was working part time for for the county for the city of Alexandria. And so I met him there, and then he kind of chased me down. Uh, he chased me down, and we were engaged after 11 months, and we've been married ever since. And I have a beautiful bonus daughter, and I birthed a soon to be 10-year-old son as well.
Yes,
I know that's kind of crazy too. But I love that's my crew.
it is.
Ones, they're my number ones. They are the ones um that keep me going. They're a lot of motivation, especially my husband. My husband is one of my biggest supporters.
Yeah.
And the reality is I probably would not have done half of the things that I've done and accomplished if it wasn't for him.
Yep.
You know, with the girls organization too. I had the vision, but he's been like the connection for all of it. Even with the church and stuff like that. I always tell the story that he had a Joseph experience. We have just got married and I knew I was gonna pastor. That was no he knew about that, but we I didn't know I was gonna like start a church. Um,
Right.
so when I told him that, he was like, "What? What you talking about?" Like, and I was like, "Just pray about it." And literally, we were had just got married, and God spoke to him in a dream, and literally told him, "We have to do this. There are a group of people that we're supposed to go after, and it
Okay.
doesn't look like your traditional church type of setting and things like that." And he was like, we gonna do it. And so we've been doing it ever since.
I love it. And thank you, sir. Thank you for taking care of my girl.
Yeah, he's he's pretty dope. And he fine too. So that that adds to it too. Hey,
Look,
dark chocolate, dark chocolate. Amen.
correct, correct. Following in your sister's footsteps. Don't we love a chocolate man?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes, it is amazing. And it is amazing to have that kind of support, behind you. And especially when you're on assignment from the Lord. And all of us should realize that we are on assignment from the
Yeah.
Lord, or what it is that we're doing. But I think it takes a lot of times, us really hearing what God is saying for us to take on the assignment, because it can be difficult. Just because the Lord tells you to do something doesn't mean that it's going to be easy and that you get to just slide into first base and slide into second base. I heard somebody say the other day, and her name is Ming, she said, an overnight success, it takes at least 10 years. And I
Yeah.
was like, girl, you just helped me, because a lot of times we think things are supposed to happen overnight, but there is a process and a journey that we have to go through and be on to
ab-
accomplish those things. And so I I saw your journey firsthand, and I'm so excited that I got to be there from the beginning, seeing the young lady and seeing you toil through the processes to get to where you are. Because I love so many things about you, but I do actually really love the call of pastor on your life, because I know the heart of it and where it comes from. And you guys hear my voice, like Shakina has this sultry alto voice. It not only sounds sexy when she talks, but when she sings, it is a whole nother thing, okay? And so
You're
just
crazy.
hearing, just being a part of all of that, I so appreciate that you continue to grow as this young woman. Now, tell me more about, the church, because I know that, the church was a big dig, for you to be able to, I call it a mantle, to take up the mantle, right? And to know that your husband is holding up your arms because God chose you, for the people. And so for him to be able to hold up your arms while you're doing his work, tell me what that really feels like as a woman in ministry.
you know, I, Let me kind of go back a little bit, Drew, because when I first, even said this is what God has called me to do, everybody thought I was absolutely crazy. Um,
Until it happens.
right. Like everybody thought I was crazy. I got ostracized, I got criticized. You're not going to be able to do it. You're a woman. Women don't really plant churches in Northern Virginia. I was told my marriage was going to fail because I pastored. I was told, when I say all kind of stuff, I mean, I was really, really criticized. And it was a very hard, that first year, because all I've known my entire life was Macedonia Baptist Church. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Um, and so I thought God was crazy to say, "Oh, you're leaving home." I'm like, I like it here. I like Dr. Hamlin. I love what I do here. You know what I'm saying, and whatever the case may be. But God was like, no, everything that I called you to do is different. And it looks different. And
Yeah.
so when I stepped out, like, groups of even ministers and pastors that I were attached to disassociated themselves. And I wasn't out of order. I did what God told me to do in order. Like, literally, when I had a conversation with my pastor, I told him in August that I was leaving in December. People don't normally do that. You know what I mean? Like, people usually give you 2 weeks, give you a month, and then they gone. Like,
Correct.
I had such a regard, and I was wrestling through things
Yes.
so much that when I made that jump, it was hard. It
Hmm.
was really, really hard. And I remember always asking myself, like, God, are you sure about this? This is crazy. Like, this is a lot. Because planning is different than when you candidate for a church.
It
You know what I mean?
is.
There's a lot of things that go with planning and building a church from the ground up. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of time,
Yes,
it's a
ma'am.
lot of sweat and tears.
For
Um,
sure.
but the reality is, for me, I had my husband through it all. I always call people, I might be the face, but I always tell people he's the silent pastor.
Uh-huh.
Um, because he does just as much as I do. It's just that he's not in the front as much. But this year,
Yes.
I told him this year you can come out a little bit more so these people can see. But literally,
Let me speak that over Mr. Perkins as well. He's going to come out a little bit in 2025, okay? He's going to be right over there.
yeah, like literally, but he does it all. I mean, I could not have done this without him. I probably wouldn't have done it without him. He's been the biggest support and the push through everything, especially this church thing. I mean, even like we just moved into a building. He's been around here doing all the work. You know what I'm saying? Like with the other guys and all of that stuff. I mean, he's invested into the vision just as much as I am.
But
Like this is his baby too.
what a testament to the solidarity of marriage for
Yeah.
to come alongside of you and to really allow for God's glory to be glorified
I,
through the marriage. And your ministry is his ministry, and if it
I
was vice versa, your his ministry is your ministry. So yes, my hats off
he
to
took
you.
some hits too. He
Yes.
he took some hits too, especially with people who are still in the traditional mindset
Hmm.
that it shouldn't pastor. I remember people being like, how's she gonna lead the church and then you supposed to be the head of the household and all of that stuff. So he took some hits along the journey as well, but he's such a strong man. He was like, I ain't tripping off none of that. Like, we gonna do what God says. Like, he's such.
Very good.
And so, but we took a lot of hits. When I say a lot of hits, but I am so glad, and I actually just talked about this in church today, that my love for God and my obedience to God was more important to me than the opinions of people.
Absolutely.
You know
Ab-
what I mean? Like, if I would not have followed and listened to the opinions of people, I look at the lives that would not have been impacted, or the deliverance that would not have taken place in
yes.
lives, or the number of ministers that have birthed through this ministry, or deacons that were ordained, and you know
Yes.
things like that. So I am always like, I'm grateful that I follow God and that I
Yes.
did listen to people. And I was at a place that if my husband wasn't on board, I wasn't going to move, because we have a thing with our marriage. We don't move without the other. And so in that, if he wasn't on board, I'm like this, all
Mhm.
right, then we gonna see what the Lord say later. He'll tell us later. But no, that wasn't the case. And so we've been moving and building ever since.
Amen. Amen. I love that so much. And it gives such strength, to couples that will be in your presence, how they should walk and how they should move with one another. And so I am grateful for that for sure. So I want to move on to talk about a little bit about the entrepreneur in you because um I don't know if people think about it, but I think ministry is like it's the same spirit, right? The entrepreneur, you're planting a seed that you don't know if it's going to grow, and but you're adding all of this water and all these nutrients to things, and you're working all of these hours, and you're pressing, and you don't know what the outcome is
Hmm.
going to be, especially when you're a woman in a world where you know I'll just say masculinity is so lifted with leadership and being the head of things. And I personally, I have 9 brothers, and so when the Lord was like, "You gonna do this with your siblings?" I'm all like, "But why?"
Yeah.
9 boys. You trying
Yeah.
to tell me you can't get one of them?
Right.
Over here? No, no, ma'am. I told you. And so to be able to walk in that and to move and still have to, be a good leader
Hmm.
for my brothers and my sisters, whether they're older than me or younger than me, and a lot of them are younger than me. It can be a big task and a big feat. But when I tell you that you have to lean into the Lord for those things, because sometimes business can look crazy. I'll be like, Lord, did you happen to check the bank account? Yes, just yesterday. Did you do that?
Hmm.
Because
Right.
we gonna need some
Girl.
things. How has entrepreneurship, like how has it strengthened even your pastoralship? Because they can run in the same vein when you're moving towards something that you're building.
Yeah. So I've always, before I launched the church or planted the church, I had my girls organization first.
Hmm.
So I was doing that first.
And what's the name of your girls
Ja-
organization?
it's called Gyra's Place. And we actually in the last 2 years just opened it up. So it's boys and girls now. It's no
Hmm.
boys. I mean just girls. But so I started there. And that was just strictly like a give back type of thing. But I've always had this desire to do entrepreneurship. I have SD Rollins Enterprise, in which we do staffing solutions, organizational solutions. We do coaching, so many different other things. Um, and I actually started it probably right around before I started the church,
Hmm.
and I stopped it, and I didn't do it, and I was like, "This too much. I can't do all of this. Like this too much at the same time. I did the church business,
Too
whatever."
many things.
So I was working, full time, for a company for almost 9 years, and literally we had hit I guess a rock in the road. Me and my supervisor had a conversation, and I basically told her that I think my season is up. And she was like, I think it is too. And that's all I needed to hear, right? Like,
Yes.
I think like because I had been wrestling for the last 2 years. But I wasn't feeling like the connection I was before. It was so much that I wanted to do on my own. I couldn't do ministry freely, like I wanted to,
Hmm.
um, because like I had to go to work.
Yeah.
Like, it was like so many different pieces, like, but it was so many different things. So literally September 30th was my last day of 2024 of working a full-time job, and I stepped out on faith, and been working for myself, and it is a journey.
Baby.
It's a
With a
different type
capital
of beast.
J.
It's a different type of beast. I love it. I love the freedom, and I love what I do every single day.
Yes.
But it's different when people have to pay you. It's different when you don't have, a check every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that. Like I'm waiting on invoices to be paid, or something like that, or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
So it's been a little bit, that piece of it is a little bit stressful, but I love it.
Yes.
And I be praying. Same thing. You be like, Lord, listen, I didn't look at the account, and this invoice is not paid yet, Lord, and I gotta pay, bills, and
Yes, sir. Yeah.
all kind of stuff. And so that part of it, it really is entrepreneurship is really a faith journey.
Oh, with a big old
Like,
FAI. H.
It's a faith, trusting God, believing God,
Mm-hmm.
holding to God's unchanging hand.
Yep.
You know, all of that stuff. That I know you understand it. It's a lot.
It
It's
is.
a lot. But it's rewarding at the same time. And the freedom allows me to do ministry. And allows me to work the vision that God has given me for the church more. So that piece of it is very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being a woman, I think in anything that we do, comes with its challenges. You know, when I was growing up, my father used to say to me, he used to say, you know, being a African American female, he said, you got, you know, the Caucasian male, the Caucasian female, the African American male, and he said you have the African American female. He used
Mm-hmm.
to always say, you have to work harder, right? And I, you know, he said that when I was young, so I was like, oh, okay, I gotta work harder. But now I really understand that. And so there are moments that we have to literally create our own doors,
Mm-hmm.
um, and our own tables to
It
sit
is.
at,
It is.
you know, for not only ourselves but for other females, and things like that, or whatever the case may be. So entrepreneurship is interesting,
It is.
and it's not for the faint at heart,
It's
like
not.
at all.
And I think if we're listening as entrepreneurs, um, one of the most powerful things that I've found in entrepreneurship is partnership.
Yes, absolutely. That's
It is
one.
so good. It can be so good, and then it can be so bad. So it's
Yeah,
important.
I've I've experienced both. You know, and
Yeah.
it does have its benefits. Partnership has been good to me.
Oh yes, me too.
Even, you know, with bidding and contracting, and you know, getting subcontractors, and you know, all that type of stuff or whatever. It's been a blessing.
Yes.
As far as that part goes and stuff like that. But it can also be a curse because you got to get the right part.
Correct.
Yeah. So that part, you know, makes a difference.
Yeah, and it's funny because um, I didn't start Robinson Farms for money.
Mm,
And you would have been like, well, girl, if you didn't start it for money, then what you started for? The Lord told me that I was going to do this. It was nothing that I asked for.
yeah,
I thought I was just over here minding my interior design business. And he was like, no, you're going to open a hotel. And so moving in those things when you're hearing God say something and making those things happen, I'm like, Lord, you gonna have to help a girl because you got me out here in a place where I've never been before. And he really did. He just started sending people
yeah.
talking about he didn't send me nothing like raggedy. When I tell you the Lord sent me, he sent me 20 years back. So I'm
Oh
like,
wow.
okay, very good. So you're sending me young ladies who have the same drive that I did at their age, and he's connecting them to me. And when I tell you these partnerships and these young women are, and Driana being one of them, I'd be like, this little chick right here, she be over here, honey. She got her mama on one side and on the other side. She be like, girl, don't you ask me nothing else. Don't give me no more assignments. I got a job that I'm getting paid for. And she's an entrepreneur on her own. And so I just be like, yeah, you are your mother's child. But
Yeah.
somehow we get it all done. And
Mhm.
I'm grateful for the partnerships and hearing, our conversation today is sparking some things that the Lord is kind of whispering in my ear that I will be whispering in your ear. Talk about some things moving forward. But I am so grateful for the opportunity to still, sit here and chat with you because it just really like moves my heart that, you have persevered and,
Yeah.
found your place and you stood and you continue to stand so that God can continue to get the glory. And
Abs-
I know that, you know, along this journey for me, I know that the Lord started, the enemy started to send attacks, right?
Oh yes.
I really didn't realize, how upset he was about what I was doing
Mhm.
until he started to attack me and my family. And I was just like,
Mhm.
are those the games that you're playing? Uh,
Absolutely.
and then you touch my son, I got to roar up now and we had to start fighting. And so I know that the enemy has been, trying to stop what he thinks that, he can stop. But can you kind of just give a little, insight to some of the things that you've endured? Because a lot of times when we think that we're doing ministry or entrepreneurship, that we're not going to come up against things, and we don't even have the pleasure sometimes of not coming up against things. We take that and we put that in stride. We actually write that in our business plan.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some problems.
That's right.
We're gonna
That's
have problems.
it's very interesting because that you even asked me this question. So we our church for the last few years we've been in schools. And so we literally got a building, and the first service was on Sunday. It was a great service. The
Yeah.
place was packed. It was
I
beautiful.
saw, I follow, so I was like,
Yeah,
yes.
it was a great day. And as soon as
He
I
don't even wait a minute, does he?
I mean, I'm like, I can't even get a nap first. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it
No.
was attacks. Because one thing with pastoring is that, people are so used to us being up
Mm-hmm.
that sometimes people can't handle the down moments. And this week, after such a high this week,
Yes.
it was such a down this week for me. It was attack after attack, and I was like, I cannot believe this is happening. Like Drusilla, like literally Friday, I just laid in the bed for a very long time. Like
It,
I couldn't get myself together. I was like, and then I had one of the mothers of the church said, "Take up your bed and walk, girl."
what?
And I said, "Oh, okay. I heard that in the spirit, Lord. Get up, Shakina. You got to get up from here." But
Mm-hmm.
the attacks were so much that it was overwhelming me. And even though I have faith, and even though I trust God, the reality is sometimes it is a lot,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
All the hats that we're carrying. And I'm just, we're in a new territory. So I know with the new territory that we're coming at, coming after, that the enemy is just going to rear his head in so many things. But I was like, dang, we just opened the doors, Lord. But it also is a reminder to me that I'm doing something right.
Correct.
You know what I
Yes,
mean? Like
ma'am.
that I'm doing what God has told me to do. If there was no tax, if there was no controversy, if there
Yes.
was no opposition, I would question what I'm doing. Um,
Correct.
but the reality is, because of that, I know for a fact I'm doing what God has called me to do.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
because of that. So those, they come, and they come frequent.
That it
Especially,
is the highs and the lows. I'm talking about when we
yep,
talk about the valleys. That's because the hills and the valleys. That's because that's exactly how it is. You get a high and he smacks you, and you be like, "Oh my God, what
yep,
happened?" And then you get back up, because and you have to constantly like girt yourself, back up.
absolutely.
One of the things that I've been reminded, in the last couple of months is to keep the full armor on,
Yes.
because at one point the enemy was attacking, and I felt myself having to reach back, and I felt like I was grabbing some armor. And the Lord was like, "See, that's the problem right there. This reaching back is causing you to lose ground. I need you to I need you to keep on the full armor, so that you're always moving forward, even when things are happening. They're now behind you, and you don't even have to pay attention to them. But if I gotta reach back, I was like, oh, where's my helmet, the belt, the
Yeah.
shoes?"
Yeah. No.
Because Rose was teaching last week. She said, "This armor is good because you can swim in it." You can swim in. I said, "We can swim in it. You can be in the sunlight in it. So keep
Right.
it on. There is no need
Absolutely.
to take it off."
Absolutely. It is and it's funny because I always say the enemy comes after like it's like clockwork. As soon as you have the highest of moments, it's like here he come.
Yep.
And sometimes that can hurt your confidence, it can
It
hurt your
can.
thought process and stuff like that. And you literally have to have a Donald Lawrence ministry, and you have to encourage your
Yourself in the,
right?
the
And
Lord.
Lord, like,
Mhm.
and I had to do that this week. I had to encourage myself in the Lord for to even stand, even this, this morning. I
Yes. To
well in
minister.
my body, and but people don't realize like it's so much with this ministry stuff sometimes. And the attacks, they come,
Yes.
they come.
Yes, and I think the thing that the Lord is probably showing me the most is, even though I'm not in the brick and mortar walls of a church, he was like,
Hmm.
still is your ministry. And
Yeah.
so the those types of attacks I'm so well aware of, and I'm like going, oh yeah, keep a girl prayed up all the
Absolutely.
all of
Absolutely.
the time. Well, I think one of my last questions is that what are you looking forward to? I mean, you've seen what God can do. You've seen, how God can carry us and keep us. What are you looking most forward to in ministry and just in life? Like, what does that look like, especially with so much that's going on?
So I'm looking forward to um continue to having success, with my husband, of course. I don't want to do anything without him,
Yes.
um, at all. But just success in our union, to keep having that, for us to keep being strengthened and to have good health. Um,
Yes.
the journey, we've had some health situations over the last few years. Um, and so that's a big thing to keep being a wonderful mom to
Well,
my baby.
don't make me call Coach Carl Perkins, because he'll be right.
No, thank you, Carl. Mm-mm, nope. I know how you roll. No, thank you.
I'd be like, oh dear Jesus, who did I marry? You mean
No,
what? Why are we
mm-mm.
running today?
No, no, thank you, Carl. No, thank you. Um, I want to see, ministry continue to flourish. We're in this new space and things like that, and I want us to have a major impact where we are. I know that God has called me to plant and to expand kingdom.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm looking forward to that piece, even though it's a lot that comes with it. Um,
Yes.
as well as, this is the first, I guess it's only been like 6 months since I've been running my businesses
Uh-huh.
full. So I'm looking for the success of that.
Yeah.
I look forward to, one of Drew. I don't Everything that I do, I always look at like how I can be a blessing to other people.
Hmm.
One of my prayers when I was doing driver's places, get me in a place that I can offer part-time employment to people.
Yeah.
Now that is something that I offer now. The
Love
last few,
it.
I want to be able to staff people. I want to be able to have staff and to be a blessing to people because people
Yes,
need jobs and opportunities, and
they
I want to
do.
provide them for that. I want to just be successful in general. I don't want to I don't, I want the business to flourish in a way where I ain't got to worry about if the invoice is paid or not. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like,
Correct. That
I,
overflow is flowing.
yes, I want overflow, more than enough, abundant.
Yes. Yes.
So those are some of the things that that I want to see, in the next few years, just kind of keep flourishing. God has blessed me a lot, like a lot, and I don't take for granted what He's done. I've been on many different stages and had line of different opportunities and things
Yes.
like that. And so I just want to continue to be obedient to God, so I can continue to experience His favor, and and walk into every promise that He has for me.
Amen. Well, I'm linking up beside you. I touch and agree that all those things will be. And because I know the God we serve, He will blow our minds. I mean, beyond any measure, because I was looking for a little 5 acres to put a little hotel on. And he was
Yeah.
like, oh girl, we're gonna give you 95 acres. Let's something with that. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I think the vision that, he knows that like when I laugh all the time because I know that God's gift of creation is something that I take so seriously. And because I know that I have that gift, like he shared that with me, like I can see things and say, let that room become this, or let
Yeah.
that building become this, and then
Yeah.
comes that. And I'll be like,
Yeah.
I be kicking up my heels. So I know that Robinson Farms, we are infants. We're 3.5 years old, but my, to see the vision that God has allowed for me to put in my head, and
Hmm.
to now put in a rendering so that I can feed it to the family. I'm like, they gonna be mad at me when I'm done with this, okay?
Yeah.
Because I run,
Absolutely.
got to run with the Lord, and so you know that you and your husband are always welcomed at Robinson Farms, and I can't wait to have y'all out at the end.
I'm coming. I
Cannot wait to have y'all come and unplug and relax and just do all the things that we do at Robinson Farms. Cook a little bit outside, hop on your horse, go fishing. I don't know, you might want to hit up in the woods. I don't know what you're gonna do in the woods, but you might want to go up in there. But yes, it would be a pleasure to have both of y'all come and spend
absolutely,
time with us for sure.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. And I so appreciate you coming on today.
No, thank
And
you.
here again, this is a March. It is a Women's Appreciation Month, and I appreciate you.
Oh.
Wait a minute, I'm gonna call your son boy out here, Carl Brandon. Come here for a moment. This is how I'm gonna end the live. You see,
Yeah,
grown people. Nicholas is 21 now, and so
and
this.
now I'm starting to feel old.
I
That's
know
crazy.
they trying to move me into a whole nother category. I was like, I'm not going. I'm not going. This is our professor. You gotta say hi to Shay.
Hello.
Hey, sir, how are you?
Good.
It's good to look at him all grown face
I
and
know,
stuff.
girl. After everybody want a beard, everybody want a mustache.
Cannot believe that's crazy.
I know, and we're talking about it. You seen Brennan in the belly,
Hmm.
and now to be
Hmm.
at 28 years old.
Yeah.
I'm not that old yet.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. But I am so grateful to have had you on, and so I
Thank
will
you.
definitely be touching base with you soon. So know that I love you, and
I
that I'm
love you.
always praying and screaming and yelling for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, baby. Well, I love you, and I will
Love
see
you.
you soon.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.